Okay, so have you ever found yourself browsing online, maybe really interested in something, a new gadget or perhaps a course, but then you just sort of click away? Not because the product wasn't good necessarily, but maybe the description just felt, I don't know, flat. What if the problem wasn't really your interest level, but maybe the words trying to uh, light that fire? Today, we're not just talking about product descriptions. No, we're going deeper. We're looking at the often underestimated power they have in turning those casual views into actual purchases. We're moving way beyond just like listing features. We want to explore the real art of crafting something genuinely irresistible. For this deep dive, we've been digging into excerpts from Crafting Irresistible Product Descriptions. And our mission really is to pull out the most important bits of knowledge from this source. Maybe some less obvious stuff too, stuff that reveals how these descriptions don't just describe, they actually sell, and how getting them right can really make those conversion rates climb. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, it's fascinating how the source jumps right in, doesn't it? It focuses immediately on this basic truth. If a product isn't converting, well, the way you're talking about it is often the first place you need to look. It kind of forces you to face the fact that what we say about a product, it's just as important as the product itself. Maybe even more so sometimes.
Absolutely. And that first principle it hammers home is focus on benefits, not just features. Now, okay, that sounds pretty intuitive, right? Especially if you're in marketing. But how often do we still see descriptions, even from experienced people, that just default to this dry list of specs?
Yeah.
What's the sort of subtle trap there? Why is it so hard to actually do consistently, even when we know we should?
That's a great question. And it is a trap. I think it lies in our own bias. As creators or sellers, we're proud of the engineering, the details, the what it is. But users, well, they aren't buying the what. They're buying what it does for them, the outcome, the transformation. Think about, say, a smartphone camera. 50 megapixel camera. That's a feature. Plain and simple. But the benefit, that's not just the pixel count. It's about capturing these amazing professional-looking photos even when the light's bad, so you never miss that perfect moment. You see.
Yeah, I get that.
The real challenge is constantly translating those technical specs, which can be complex, into relatable emotional outcomes, especially if a product has tons of features. It really comes down to empathy, doesn't it? Putting yourself in the user's shoes.
That makes total sense. Shifting from being product-focused to user-focused. And speaking of empathy and emotion, the source then kind of pushes us towards using sensory language to spark emotion. Now, this is interesting because, we usually think about seeing a product online. But what about those other senses, the ones we can maybe evoke with words? And crucially, how do we do that without just sounding, well, cliche?
Right. That's the tricky part. It's definitely more than just visual descriptions. It's about making the reader almost feel the product. So like instead of just saying sock blanket, maybe something like sink into the cloud-like embrace of this cashmere, A comforting weight that just melts away the day's stress.
Ooh, I like that.
Or for coffee, right? Instead of strong coffee, maybe it's savor the rich, bold aroma, like really paint the picture. The warmth seeping into you with the first sip, waking up your senses.
Yeah.
The key is being specific, evoking a unique experience, not just, generic nice words, using vivid verbs, evocative adjectives, building this multi-sensory picture in their head that connects with their own experiences.
I actually remember reading a description for a pillow once that talked about the soothing silence it brought to my sleep. And honestly, it made me want to go lie down right then.
Exactly.
It's amazing how powerful words can be like that. But okay, for that vivid description to really hit home, it needs to connect with some kind of underlying need, right? Which leads perfectly into the next point. Know your buyer's pain points and address them.
Yeah.
Now, this feels like marketing 101, but where do product descriptions sometimes miss the mark here? What's a less obvious way this gets overlooked?
This is where you need that deep user understanding. It's not just about the really obvious frustrations. It's often the subtle stuff, the anxieties or desires people don't even quite articulate.
Like what?
Well, say you're selling a productivity app. The surface pain point is, I'm disorganized. Okay, fine. But the deeper pain point might be, I feel totally overwhelmed, or I'm always behind, or even I absolutely dread opening my email each morning.
Right, the feeling behind the problem.
Exactly. So your description shouldn't just list features like task management. It should maybe say something like, tired of feeling buried under that mountain of tasks, our app cuts through the chaos, giving you back control, giving you back your peace of mind. The less obvious mistake is not digging deep enough into the emotional cost of that pain point. Because ultimately, people are buying relief, not just a list of features.
That's a really powerful way to think about it. Relief, not features. But even if you nail all that emotional connection, if it's just a big block of text, well, people won't read it, right? They'll just bounce. So the source advises keep it clear, concise, and easy to skim. We all know about using bullet points, sure, but what's the real art of being concise here? Especially when you do have a lot to say. How do you keep that impact while keeping it brief?
Yeah, that's definitely a balancing act. It's not just about using fewer words, it's about choosing the right words. Every single one counts. It's microcopy, really. You have to think about how people actually read online. They scan. They really do.
Totally, I know I do.
So short paragraphs are key. Clear headings. Bolding the really important benefits. Using white space effectively. The goal is making that core value proposition instantly understandable, like within seconds. Every sentence has to earn its place on the page. If a word or a phrase doesn't add value or clarify something or persuade, just cut it. Clarity and conciseness aren't just about saving screen space. They're about respecting the reader's time and making the value crystal clear immediately.
Okay, that makes sense. Respecting their time. And while you're making it super clear and easy for the human eye, you also have to remember the search engines, don't you? So the next point is include keywords for SEO without sounding robotic. This is where I think a lot of people get tripped up. Beyond just stuffing in the exact terms, what's a smarter way to handle SEO and descriptions? One that works for the algorithm and the actual person reading it.
Excellent question. And yeah, this is where some older SEO advice really falls flat now. It's not just about repeating exact matched keywords anymore. The real sophistication comes from using related terms, semantic keywords. What search engines understand through latent semantic indexing, or LSI.
Okay, so related ideas.
Exactly. So if you're selling noise-canceling headphones, don't just repeat that phrase over and over. Think about why someone is searching for them. Are they looking for headphones for travel? Or maybe quiet headphones for work from home? Or immersive sound for gaming? Or just how to block out distractions?
The intent behind the search.
Precisely. Weaving those kinds of contextual phrases in naturally makes your description much more relevant for a wider range of searches. And it does it without sounding like a keyword-stuffed robot wrote it. It still reads perfectly fine for a human.
That's a really practical takeaway, thinking about the why. Okay, so someone finds your product, they start reading this great, clear, benefit-focused description. You still need to build trust, right? Especially since they can't physically touch the thing. Which brings us to use social proof, like reviews or guarantees. Now, we all kind of know reviews are important, but what are the different kinds of social proof we can use? And how do we maybe weave them into the description itself?
Right. It's all about making them feel confident about hitting that buy button, validating their choice. And yeah, there are several types. You've got the user reviews. Obviously, those are huge because they feel authentic.
Sure.
But you can also use expert endorsements, maybe a quote from a well-known tech reviewer or an industry blog, or even third-party validation. Like if you won an award, awarded best in class by whoever. Yeah. And the strategic part is key. Don't just, link off to a separate reviews page and hope they come back. Pull out snippets. Integrate short, impactful quotes directly into the description, ideally ones that highlight specific benefits or address common pain points you've already mentioned.
Oh, that's clever. Reinforce the points.
Exactly. And with guarantees, like a clear money-back promise or a solid warranty, it does more than just reduce their financial risk. It signals that you are confident in your product. That lowers a big psychological barrier for the buyer.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Building that credibility right there on the page. Okay, so you've done all this great work. Benefits, emotion, pain points, clarity, trust. You can't just stop there, right? The source really emphasizes this. Add a strong call to action. What do you want them to do? This feels like the final push, the nudge. But what makes the CTA truly strong? Irresistible even. Beyond just a button that says, buy now.
Yeah, and it's amazing how often this is the weakest link in the chain. A strong CTA isn't just a button. It's a clear, compelling instruction. It removes all doubt about what the next step is. So beyond the standard add to cart, think about those psychological triggers. Maybe urgency, limited stock, or offer ends soon, or exclusivity. Join our VIP list, or get early access.
Okay.
Or even personalization, like find your perfect size or build your custom kit. The most effective CTAs, though, aren't just clear and action-focused. They often promise a benefit right there in the call to action itself. So instead of just download, maybe try download your free guide and unlock specific benefit.
Ah, connect it back.
Exactly. It's that final decisive push. And if it's missing or weak, it can honestly undo all the great persuasive work you did earlier in the description.
Wow. Okay, this whole deep dive really hammers home